Hello, Immigration Nation. Today, we'll explore the changes in the January 2024 updates for the processing wait times. Let's dive in. For filing family-sponsored visa applications, Form Y-130. For permanent resident filing for a spouse or child under 21, you will find a processing time of 70.5 months for all offices. In the category of U.S. citizen, for a spouse, parent, or child under 21, all field offices have a waiting time of 42 months, while at all service centers, the time is 14 months. For U.S. citizen, filing for unmarried son, daughter, 21 or older. Remember, these locations are where you filed your application. Your receipt notice will show you if you don't remember. California, 79 months. Nebraska, 24.5 months. Potomac, 45.5 months. Texas, 42 months. Vermont, 47.5 months. And all field offices, 75.5 months. In the category of permanent resident for unmarried son or daughter, 21 or older, in California, 72 months. Nebraska, 42.5 months, Potomac, 41 months, Texas, 48.5 months, Vermont, 50 months. All field offices, 81.5 months. Regarding the category of U.S. citizen filing for a married son or daughter, California, 85 months. Nebraska, 46.5 months. Potomac, 46 months. Texas, 46 months. Vermont, 46 months. All field offices, 48 months. For a U.S. citizen filing for a brother or sister, California, 46.5 months. National Benefits Center, 68 months. Nebraska, 22.5 months. Potomac, 42.5 months. Texas, 43.5 months. Vermont, 93.5 months. All field offices, 70 months. Now let's look at the categories for Form 1-601 and I-601. I-601, waiver of grounds of inadmissibility, Nebraska, 22 months, all field offices, 22 months, I-601, a provisional waiver of unlawful presence in all service centers, 44 months.
In the case of Form I-212, permission to reapply for admission after deportation and removal, in Nebraska, the time is 22 months. For all field offices, 24 months. Moving on to the next form.
Now, in the employment-based section, Table A,
waiver of the 2-year foreign residence requirement based on exceptional hardship or persecution, California, 14.5 months.
Form I-131 reentry permit or refugee travel document, Nebraska, 17.5 months. Advance parole, California, 12.5 months. National Benefits Center, 9 months. Nebraska, 5.5 months. Texas, 17.5 months. Vermont, 9 months. Form I-918, All Service Center, 63 months. For Form I-485, Adjustment of Status Applications. In this case, I will show you the waiting time in New Jersey, since that's where our law firm is located. Mount Laurel, New Jersey, 21 months. For family-based adjustments, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, 14 months. Newark, 17.5 months. Based on grant of asylum more than 1 year ago, all field offices, 32 months. Based on refugee admission more than 1 year ago, all field offices, 30.5 months. Based on an approved T visa, Vermont, 33.5 months. Based on an approved U visa, Vermont, 27.5 months. Now, in the employment-based section,
for I-765, based on being an H-4 spouse of an H-1B non-immigrant. In California, 3.5 months. Nebraska, 4 months. Texas, 4.5 months. Vermont, 3.5 months.
Based on being an L2 spouse of an L1 non-immigrant, in California, 10 months. Texas, 12 months. Vermont, 24 months. Based on being admitted as a refugee, Nebraska, 3.5 months. Based on an approved asylum application, Nebraska, 5.5 months. Texas, 15 months. Application for suspension of deportation, National Benefits Center, 16.5 months. Based on parole, National Benefits Center, 3.5 months. Alien with final order of deportation under a supervision order, or OSU, National Benefits Center, 4.5 months. Based on being an H-4 spouse of an H-1B non-immigrant, in California, 4.5 months. Nebraska, 5.5 months. Texas, 7 months. Vermont, 3.5 months. Based on a request by a qualified F1 academic student, Potomac, 3.5 months. based on an approved, concurrently filed Nebraska, less than 3 months, Vermont, 128 months, based on a pending asylum application, all service centers, 16 months, based on a pending asylum application, C8, all service centers, 1 month, based on a pending I-485 adjustment application, California, 5.5, National Benefits Center, 8 months, Nebraska, 3.5 months, Texas, 11 months, Vermont, 10 months, based on TPS for El Salvador, Texas, 10.5 months, Vermont, 3 months, Haiti extension, California, 8 months, all other applications for employment authorization, California, 15.5 months, National Benefits Center, 10.5 months, Nebraska, 11 months, Potomac, 13.5 months, Texas, 3.5 months, Vermont, 8 months. For Form I-526, in the category of China, mainland-born, for use by an investor who wishes to immigrate to the United States. If you apply at the Immigrant Investor Program Office, the processing time will be 85.5 months. For all other areas, for use by an investor who wishes to immigrate to the United States, all Immigrant Investor Program Office, it would take 55.5 months. Form I-829, Immigrant Investor Program Office, the time is 68.5 months. For Form I-131, for re-entry permit or refugee travel document, Nebraska, 17.5 months. For advanced parole, California, 12.5 months. National Benefits Center, 9 months. Nebraska, 5.5 months. Texas, 17.5 months. Vermont, 9 months. For Form I-360 in the section for all other special immigrants, like special immigrant juvenile petitions, California, 1.5 months. Nebraska, 12.5 months. Vermont, 30 months. For VAWA, in all service centers, the time is 36.6 months. As for religious workers, in California, the time is 6.5 months. For Afghan or Iraqi translators and Afghans or Iraqi who worked for on or behalf of the U.S. government, your only available option is Nebraska with a 4.5-month wait. Finally, for Form 1-140, in the category of extraordinary ability, E11, your available centers are Nebraska with 19.5 months and Texas with 23 months. For outstanding professor or researcher, E12, Nebraska 6 months and Texas 8.5 months. Multinational executive or manager, E13, Nebraska 8 months and Texas 10.5 months. In the category of advanced degree or exceptional ability, E21, Nebraska 4 months and Texas 7.5 months. If your case is skilled worker or professional, E31, E32, you will find a time in Nebraska of 5 months and Texas 7 months. Or if your situation is unskilled worker, EW3, the time in Nebraska is 4 months and in Texas it is 25.5 months. In the category of advanced degree or exceptional ability requesting a national interest waiver, NIW, in Nebraska the waiting time is 10.5 months, the same time for Texas with 10.5 months. Finally, for the category of scheduling nurses, in Nebraska the waiting time is 5.5 months, while for Texas it is 6 months. Before we say goodbye, I'll provide you with additional information for Form I-730, petition for accompanying family members of an asylee in all service centers, the time is 29 months. Form I-751, removal of lawful permanent resident conditions. For California, 20.5 months. Nebraska, 19 months. Potomac, 31.5 months. Texas, 27.5 months. Vermont, 23.5 months. All field offices, 32.5 months. Form N-400, application for naturalization. In New Jersey, specifically Mount Laurel, the time is 9 months. Form N-600, application for recognition of U.S. citizenship. Also in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, the time is 13.5 months. Finally, for Form 1-821, temporary protected status, or TPS. Afghanistan and Vermont, 8.5 months. Burma in California, 4.5 months. Cameroon in Nebraska, 11 months. El Salvador in Texas, 11.5 months. And in Vermont is 16 months. Re-registration in El Salvador, Nebraska 7 months, Texas 10.5 months, and Vermont 3 months. Haiti in California 8 months. Honduras in Vermont 13 months. Honduras re-registration, Vermont 5 months. Nepal in Nebraska 26 months. Nepal re-registration, Nebraska 18.5 months. Nicaragua in Texas 10.5 months. Nicaragua re-registration in Texas, 7 months. Somalia in Vermont, 8 months. Somalia re-registration is 6 months in Vermont. South Sudan in Vermont, 13.5 months. Registration for South Sudan, also in Vermont, 13.5 months. Sudan in Vermont, 15.5 months. South Sudan re-registration, also in Vermont, is 2 months. Syria. In Vermont, it's 10 months. Syria re-registration, also in Vermont, is 14.5 months. Ukraine in Nebraska, 12.5 months. Venezuela in Potomac, 16 months. Yemen in Vermont, 10.5 months. Yemen re-registration is 5 months, also in Vermont. If you have any questions about your immigration process or simply want professional guidance, don't hesitate to contact us. We look forward to more good news. Stay informed by following our channel. Let's take care until the next update.